Most parents believe getting a toddler to eat vegetables is a battle of willpower. Hide it, disguise it, bribe them with dessert, and eventually they'll come around. The truth is nothing like that. Dr. Leanne Birch, a developmental nutrition researcher who spent decades studying childhood eating at Penn State University, found something that changes the whole approach. Kids aren't refusing vegetables out of stubbornness. Their taste preferences are still being built in real time by exposure, not by pressure. Here's the transformation this video promises. By the end, you won't see mealtime as a fight to win. You'll understand what's actually happening in your child's mouth, brain, and gut every time a new food shows up on their plate, and why some of the things parents do to help are quietly making it harder. Because picky eating isn't a phase your child needs to be talked out of. It's a biological safety system doing exactly what it evolved to do. Every refused bite of broccoli, every clamped shut mouth at the sight of a green vegetable, none of it is random, and none of it is personal. There are 6 things science has now discovered about kids, snacks, and vegetables, and every one of them will change how you think about that dinner table standoff, from why your child needs to see a food before they'll eat it, to the one thing that predicts a lifelong vegetable habit better than anything else. 1. Your child's caution around new foods is a built-in survival instinct, not defiance. Researchers studying childhood eating behavior, including work from the Monell Chemical Sensus Center in Philadelphia, describe this as neophobia, a normal, almost universal wariness of unfamiliar foods that peaks around toddlerhood. The mechanism makes sense once you know it. A toddler who can now walk, reach, and grab things on their own needs a built-in break so they don't eat something dangerous before they've learned what's safe. Picture your 2-year-old eyeing a piece of zucchini like it might bite back, mouth pressed shut, arms crossed. That's not attitude. That's an ancient alarm system doing its job a little too well at the dinner table. Your child isn't rejecting you. Their body is just trying to keep them safe. 2. A food often has to be seen, not eaten, somewhere between 8 and 15 separate times before a child will actually accept it. A well-known body of research on food acceptance in young children has tracked this repeated exposure effect across many food types and found it holds up again and again. The mechanism is familiarity building trust. Each time a new food appears on the plate without pressure, the brain quietly downgrades it from unknown threat to something I've seen before, even if it's never actually tasted. Think of a small bowl of peas sitting untouched on the tray for the 10th night in a row. Nothing dramatic happening, no bites taken, and yet something is shifting every single time. You're not failing when they don't eat it tonight. You're laying down exposure number 7 of 15. 3. The way a vegetable is introduced early on shapes whether a child ends up liking it later, and repeated tasting works better than any disguise. Studies on flavor learning in infancy, including research referenced by pediatric nutrition scientists, show that babies exposed to plain vegetable purees before age 1 are more willing to accept those same vegetables as toddlers and even as older children. The mechanism is familiarity building trust. Each time a new food appears on the plate without pressure, the brain quietly downgrades it from unknown threat to something I've seen before, even if it's never actually tasted. Think of a small bowl of peas sitting untouched on the tray for the 10th night in a row. Nothing dramatic happening, no bites taken, and yet something is shifting every single time. You're not failing when they don't eat it tonight. You're laying down exposure number 7 of 15. 4. Hiding vegetables inside other foods, blending spinach into brownies, sneaking cauliflower into mac and cheese, doesn't teach a child to like vegetables. It just teaches them to eat brownies. Researchers who study food acceptance, including those cited by pediatric nutrition programs, have pointed out that concealment strategies can boost nutrient intake in the short term, but don't build genuine preference for the vegetable itself, since the child never learns to recognize or accept its actual taste and texture. The mechanism is simple. Preference is built through conscious, repeated exposure to a food as itself, not through disguising it into something else entirely. Picture a parent proudly serving hidden veggie muffins, feeling like they've won, but the child still pushes a plain carrot stick right off the plate an hour later. The sneaking wasn't wrong to try, it just wasn't teaching what it looked like it was teaching. 5. A child's willingness to try a new food is shaped heavily by watching the people around them eat it, especially parents and older siblings, and especially without being told to. Studies on modeling and social learning around food, including work referenced by developmental psychologists, show that children are far more likely to try something new when they see a trusted adult eating it with visible enjoyment, no comment necessary. The mechanism is observational learning. A toddler's brain is constantly scanning the people they trust for cues about what's safe and good, and a parent calmly eating broccoli sends a stronger signal than any amount of encouragement or pressure. Picture your child watching you eat a forkful of green beans without any fuss. No performance, no yummy voice, just eating it like it's nothing special. That quiet, unremarkable moment is doing more convincing than any lecture about vitamins ever could. 6. Pressuring, bribing, or forcing a child to eat a vegetable, even with the best intentions, tends to backfire, making that food less appealing over time, not more. Research on feeding practices and child eating behavior, including studies tracked by developmental nutrition scientists, has consistently found that clean plate rules and food as reward bargaining to 2 more bites and you get dessert are linked to lower long-term acceptance of the pressured food. The mechanism is about turning food into a battle instead of a discovery. Pressure shifts a child's attention from the food itself to the conflict around it, and the vegetable becomes associated with tension rather than curiosity. Picture a dinner table gone quiet and tense, a parent negotiating bite by bite, a child near tears over 3 pieces of broccoli. And picture instead a relaxed table where the same broccoli just sits there, tried or not tried, no negotiation attached. The relationship your child builds with a vegetable starts with the relationship they build with the moment around it. Here's the thing worth carrying away from all 6 of these. You were never actually up against a stubborn kid who refuses vegetables. You've been up against a slow, quiet biological process that was never going to be rushed by pressure, bribery, or a clever disguise. You've been offering more than you realized. Every single time that food went back on the plate untouched. You've been building a taste map your child will use for the rest of their life, one exposure at a time. You've been the example they were watching, even in the meals where nothing seemed to happen at all. You've been patient in a way that doesn't feel like progress, but actually is. You've been, this whole time, doing exactly what the research says works, even on the nights it looked like nothing was working at all. If this kind of thing helps you understand your child a little better, we post new videos every week about the science behind everyday moments in pregnancy and early childhood. If this one gave you some peace of mind, sharing it or giving it a like helps other parents find the same answers when they're stuck at the dinner table, wondering if they're doing something wrong. All right, that's it for this one. We'll see you in the next video.